Hey, last time I talked about the good habit of taking photos whenever you go somewhere, and today I think I'll show you how you can take this all a level further. This time I'll show you that instead of the just photo bashing, photos can also be turned into the handy 3D assets that can be used in a bunch of future projects. Today I'm talking about 3D scans. Today we are hunting for stuff for resources and we came to the beach. And for now we're looking for this great cliffs over here, so we'll try to make some nice meshes out from it, so using the photogrammetry. And then I'm going to go down to the beach and I will see what I can do from there. For some scans I use my DSLR camera Nikon D750. By the way, often your smartphone is enough too. And for others I use lightweight Mavic Mini drone. It's good for scanning large objects that I cannot walk around or reach. If to look, there are like a lot of potential useful objects around. That's it. Such a nice textures here, I'll show you. So see these pebbles and stones? Yeah, I'll try to do some photogrammetry with them and have a look what I'll come up with. To convert photos into 3D objects, I use Reality Capture, an excellent, quite easy to understand and fully free software. I only pay for exporting the scanned model. So the price depends on the number of photographs taken, so it depends on the complexity, and in my case I rarely paid more than like 60 or 80p per mesh, so I'll definitely recommend it. Obviously the drone cannot take photographs of the same resolution as my DSLR camera, but for large objects high resolution is not a must-have thing. Mostly this drone helps to scan large objects that can be used for the background, and the Nikon camera helps with high-resolution close-up objects. All of this got one con: I have to walk and squat a lot. Next, I quickly simplify the objects in Blender using Decimate tool and then just cut off all the excess parts. Okay, now the Fallout times. I recently completed Fallout 4 and while hanging around on the seaside locations I caught a little bit of inspiration. In this work I'm using several scans taken on the picturesque Scottish coast next to the Tantalon Castle. First, as usual, I use the largest objects to build a basic composition to indicate the sea level and where the land is gonna be. And the land itself is made using the landscape generator in Blender and some of the very same scans that I showed you before. A few objects from Quixel Megascans to create some waste and litter, some decent quality HDR for the sky, then haze made using a volume shader, and the first test for the atmosphere. Looks okay to me. And surely, bit of Nuka-Cola, because what would we do without it? I use images planes, plus a shrink wrap tool to project most textures and alpha for holes on the poster. Also, from the simplest cubes, I will create and place something representing a city on the background. Also, just to add an extra point of interest and balance the composition a bit, I decided to add something like a huge radars. Well, and of course power armor, because what would a Fallout be without power armor? I purchased this model on a CG Trader, quickly simplified it through Decimate tool, and as it was quite high poly, and then broke it into several pieces which I painted in different colors to break the general power armor palette up a little, and then I posed it using the simplest meta possible, just selecting faces I need to move and rotate them until I get the result. I will simply paint over all broken mesh artifacts later. Next, at the Photoshop stage, I begin to gradually enhance the resulting render. I add details for the sky, a little more clouds and also a little light on the ocean. By the way, I advise you to render your scenes in layers, as each layer turns into a convenient mask for further processing. Then I add a little haze, fork, or you name it, to bring some distance in between back and mid-ground. Then I paint over the render. Pick your favorite brush. For my taste, this way the picture looks a little more interesting, because a pure, clean render is sometimes too sharp and realistic, and overpainting actually helps me add a bit more details, add some accents with light or color, and in general bring a little more of painterly look to the artwork, make it a little more stylized. Using the same principle, I work with the background, breaking up straight lines here and there, adding a couple of dots and spots, refining the outline of the destroyed city. And of course, I work in exactly the same way with the foreground, which is usually the most detailed part of the picture. Finally, just a few more touches and here we go. If you found this video useful, like and follow for more. I got things to say. Bye.